nights at 6 p.m. Pacific on CRN.
Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the golden age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena Starseed. Good morning. This is Athena, and I am here with my gorgeous co-host, Kim Hix, all the way from Hawaii. Good morning. Aloha, Kim.
Aloha, Lightworkers.
So I would love to do our opening invocation to set the stage for our sacred portal of possibility. This is where we're dreaming, we're creating, we're imagining what heaven on earth is for us. We want to invite our sacred guides and the ascended masters and the creative powers of love to be with us this morning. So let's all take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men and women. May the Christ consciousness return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men and women, the purpose that the masters know and serve. And from the center which we call the race of man, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. May the plan of love and light and power restore heaven on earth. Om, om, om. Good morning, Kim. Aloha.
Om, om, om. Yes. Om, home.
Om, home. E.T. Om, home.
E.T. home. Call home. All ETTs, call home. Time to show up.
Time to show up. So I wanted to say that I'm very excited because our show, we've been asking our listeners and our viewers, the 144,000 light workers on the planet, to reach out and get a hold of us so that we can start collaborating and co-creating in the divine feminine cauldron of creation. And we had someone reach out to us that has an incredible project called Women of Wonder. And so Kim now and I have been asked to participate in this wonderful television series project where we're actually highlighting the avatars of human consciousness in the divine feminine archetype. Kim, you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Boy, the divine feminine archetype is certainly the archetype required by these times. And there's no doubt in my mind and my heart that the greatest imbalance on our planet is between the great masculine energy that is manifested in the world and yet unmanifested feminine energy, which is actually virtually the holy grail of consciousness itself. So I was thrilled to run into a project, any project that advances and moves forward the voice of women and the deep-keeled heart that they contain and the compassion and honor and respect they have for all life is a project I want to serve. So I'm real thrilled to throw whatever energy I can into the advancement of the feminine archetype, into her full, rightful empowerment and glory, truly. We can straighten out all our world and our entire problems and everything else with a true balance between the noble masculine and the sacred feminine.
So last week, Kim and I were really talking about self-actualization that leads to social actualization. And this week, I have to say that I have been studying the yamas and the niyamas, which are the social disciplines in yoga and the personal disciplines in yoga. And we realize, I think there's a little story where a little boy goes to a father and he says, "Dad, can you play with me?" And he's like, "I'm really busy." And he gives him this newspaper and he says, "Why don't you do this puzzle while I finish reading my article and I'll get back with you." And the puzzle was the earth. And so it was about how to put the earth back together. And he said, well, this will probably take him a half an hour or 45 minutes. And he comes back 5 minutes later. He goes, "Daddy, will you play with me?" And he goes, "You're done already?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "How did you put that whole earth together?" And he goes, "Well, on the back side of that was a picture of a human. And when I put the human together, on the other side, the whole world came together."
That's a yummy little story. certainly gets me gets me where I live.
So in lieu of that,
yeah.
we have been calling out, and we had a beautiful woman named Gina come into our lives, and she is really, her heart project is about liberating and highlighting the divine feminine. So she brought Kim and I this project called Women of Wonder, and basically they've gone around and they've found ordinary women doing extraordinary things. And so as this co-creative dance starts to unfold, we see how we can all participate in helping each other's life contracts come to fruition. So Stephen Harvey Lawrence was the director and the producer of this project. So then I magically introduced him to Kim, and then Kim and Gina and Stephen and I got on the phone. And before you know it, we're all dancing and singing together in this collaborative experience, putting all of our paint on the canvas to have this golden age of enlightenment usher in heaven on earth. And Kim, you were kind of reading a little bit of the divine feminine and how she needs to be nurtured for her to be able to be in her full enflowerment.
Yes, the true foundation of feminine enflowerment is safety and security. And this is why the old masculine paradigm was always to secure the tribe, to guard and protect and provide. And once there is security, then you have this great enflowerment of feminine energy, which is really the miracle of life itself coming forth in joy. The universe was born in joy and of feminine energy. It was a feminine impulse that actually birthed all of creation. And still holds true, because at the middle and the core of our own inner sacred nature, which always contains masculine and feminine too, is that place of hopefulness in the core that is actually the birthing ground of hope and consciousness for all humanity. So if we go back to courtship on the proper level, cosmic courtship, if we enroll the nobility of the masculine to serve the fertility of the feminine, we can rise to a level of civilization yet undreamed of. And I think that is the mission of these times. As we stare at the confusion and quagmire of our politically locked-in civilization, I can't help just think of all the exquisite images of paradise, of lovers in paradise, of gardens of Eden, of towers of Babylon that could be and grow from a new unity and a plurality and an inclusivity of the great masculine and feminine archetypes.
And that leads me to the divine partnership, because as you and I birthed the Heaven on Earth show, we have become, our Shiva Shakti energy, which is creating and sustaining, and then being able to allow things to die that no longer serve us. That's that whole Om, Om, the creator, the generator, and the destroyer. When the divine partnership, the Shiva and the Shakti come together, they hold space and birth something like Heaven on Earth. Then the two become four, because our mirror holographically projected a reflected reality of Gina and Stefan. And they're birthing the Women of Wonder series, which we hope are going to be on a beautiful network, hopefully Amazon Prime. If not, maybe something else like Netflix, but we're putting it out there. And we would like to invite our 144,000 viewers, once we start launching the show, to get behind us, because we're going to do it from the grassroots. We'd like to pick the Heaven on Earth Star Lion of the Month to be Women of Wonder with Gina and Stefan.
It's a brilliant concept. It plays right into our deck of beautiful arcana cards that we keep dealing, the High Priestess, and we keep dealing the Magician. And we keep knowing that when those two get together and the two become the four and the four become eight and so on, we can have a great opening of Heaven's Gate. And that's yeah.
I wanted to know, behind you is the fractal math. I love that. It looks like the an angel and the phoenix rising. And when you say the two become four and the four become eight, and we're talking about the fractal flowerment. So go back to the math and the frequency of how when one person in the hologram bonds with another, then all of a sudden the couples are born.
Well, that's the field ground of the universe. It is a quantum soup of potentiality, and that is the feminine energy. And when the feminine energy conceives, her conception is the explosion of the universe, or the birth of the universe itself. And you have these great ionic winds that blow and stir all the energies out of the dazzling darkness into this pure glowing explosion of light. And that is, they each agree to the opposite ends of the universe, because it is really the dance across all space and time of the masculine and feminine that is the backbone of creation itself, up out of the primordial quantum soup and into manifested realities. And the dualities breed the connectivity, the tissue where we can connect together. We come into the mating rituals, we come into the courtship grounds, and we seek union, a yogic union, seeking the lover and the beloved, do the dance. And in their unity, the Yab-Yum unity is the birth of yet a new soul, a new shining center out of the dazzling darkness, and the dance of fertility and virility in a co-creative embrace.
Oh my goodness. Ladies, are you listening to this? Kim Hix is kissing our consciousness with his dance of divinity. The language is like dripping jewels from infinity, swirling through the galaxies, tickling our souls and igniting our imaginations.
That's my job.
So here's the exciting thing is when men, the true masculine, the divine masculine, stand up and actually hold space to usher in the divine feminine, wonderful, wonderful things will start to happen. And I would like to let our audience know we have an incredible guest in studio today who's also another divine masculine patriarchal energy who along my path has, really helped me with my enflowerment when and most of you have known my story, but I'll just briefly recap it. I came out here with $200 to the City of Angels, and I started pioneering a fitness movement called Boot Camp, got up into $1 million home at 28, and then started wonderful, kind of Hollywood boot camps and did a lot of things. Then in 2009, had a spiritual awakening. Everything crashed. I let go of my house, which was lost in the mortgage crisis, like many millions of Americans. And I went through a dark night of the soul. And just then I was praying, and pop, out of nowhere, a teacher shows up. And I ended up studying with this master teacher, a spiritual teacher, probably for the next 6 or 7 months off and on. I met him when I was in an Indian ashram. He was coming to visit the guru that I was staying with. And his name is George A. Boyd. And he's been teaching hundreds and thousands of students all over the world. He teaches over Skype. And he helped me through my dark night of the soul by teaching me a lot about the meaning of yoga, integral yoga, all the different forms of meditation. And to me, I thought yoga, even though I was a fitness professional, I thought it was just an exercise. I had no idea there were 8 limbs, and the asanas, which is the exercise portion, was just a small part of this entire opus, this symphony of technology to help humans evolve and ascend. Mm. So recently I sent Kim some biographies and documentaries on yoga, and we found out that there's some ancient Indian civilizations that have gone without war for 2,000 straight years. No king, no queen, no government. Not that we're saying we want to have anarchy, but we are saying that in our history on this planet, there has been ancient civilizations that incorporate this type of yoga, which is not a religion, and the people end up self-governing because they are actualizing the person and the society.
These are important notes from the great historical record of our time. And if we were to explore these, I believe we'll find the underpinnings of a methodology where we can live in a transcendental arc of consciousness that can take care of all the business of our planet and liberate us all to become the true art forms of consciousness we are.
This is Athena Starseed and Kim Hix on a show called Heaven on Earth, CRN Talk Radio. We'll be right back with our in-studio guest, spiritual teacher and visionary, George A. Boyd. Stay tuned.
Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. We provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right, watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, crntalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at crntalk.com. Video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
Hi everyone, this is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner, and don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch. Just $21.95, are you kidding? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvinci's.com.
Welcome back. This is Athena Starseed and my gorgeous Emmy Award-winning Kim Hix all the way from Hawaii. We are talking about the transformation of humanity, one soul at a time. And I was promising you our in-studio guest, who is my spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd. Now, George had a passion for divinity and was on a long search. And finally, after 5 different traditions and masters, he woke up, and he has produced 19 books of poetry and also all the different heavenly planes and all the dimensions, and he's pretty much diagnosed what's happening in the inner landscape of consciousness, and his plan on the planet is to help people and give them the keys to transformation. Welcome to the show, George A. Boyd.
Thank you, Athena.
Thank you for coming. You came all the way from the desert, right?
Yes. Well, it wasn't too far. Not too much traffic this morning.
Wonderful. So Kim and I were talking about, how the old systems of the patriarch are kind of breaking down. And right now, humanity has been in a chaotic state. And I went to work last night on Abbott Kinney. I'm an intuitive reader. And I heard there was a shooting in my own neighborhood, and the babysitter told me they couldn't even take my daughter out because there were helicopters and planes. And I was like, wow, it's getting closer and getting closer. And so what are we to do, George, with this breaking down and gun violence?
Well, people have to turn within and say, this isn't working anymore. I want to stop creating this negativity in the world. Each person has to say that. Each person has to do that. And each person has to change their consciousness in a way that they will be able to do that. So when people are governed by fear, when they are governed by ignorance, when they are governed by greed, they do not see any other alternative. So when people meditate, they can begin to change their perception of the world, that there is another possibility. And the deeper aspect of meditation is when you begin to actually not only take the perspective of the soul, not only beginning to move up into the state of what we call the state of enlightenment, the realm of all possibilities, but you actually transform in that crucible of consciousness, and you open up your entire potential. I often tell people, get out your measuring tape. Okay?
He's got measuring tape, Kim.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
You figure out where your consciousness is right now, and then you look, well, okay, there's all this darkness behind me. How far does it go? How far does it go? Well, if you have the key to transform yourself, to draw down the divine light, the great transforming light. Now, Athena was talking earlier about the Trimurti, the Brahma and the Vishnu and the Shiva. Well, Shiva is the transformer. Shiva is the transformer. And so that energy that actually moves the soul, that speeds up your evolution, that's the thing that changes people. You have to change from within. You have to alchemize from within. And
love that term.
It doesn't come, it doesn't come by, learning a philosophy. It doesn't come from, having a faith system, although you certainly can invoke the light, but it comes from you actually doing the inner work on yourself and actually transforming, actually changing. And in Freemasonry, they often say that, well, we have all this wisdom, that we have all these archetypes, all these symbols, but we can't transmit it to the world because we have lost the word. They call it the lost word. But that lost word is in the mouth of the master, right? That key that unlocks the engine of evolution within you. And so we've been teaching this now for 35 years, how to do this, but not just simply giving one technique, but giving you a whole toolbox, because you're just not a soul. You have a spiritual heart. You're just not a body, but you have a conscious entity inside of you. What we call the attention principle, or Purusha. So we work on all aspects of consciousness, and we give that toolbox to people. So we encourage people to learn the tools they need and to use them.
Oh my goodness, this is very exciting. All right, so this is George A. Boyd, my spiritual teacher, and this is Kim Hix, Emmy Award-winning set designer. We're in the show Heaven on Earth. We'll be right back after these commercial messages, and let's find out what kind of techniques we can use right here, right now, to transform our life into heaven on earth. Yes, this is a call out to the 144,000. Stay tuned. If you like the show, share it and subscribe. Thank you. Blessings.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, Get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. That's 800-716-9903.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. We're into the new year, new challenges, new people and places. But isn't it good to know that some things remain the same? And that's Columbo's. Columbo's is something you can always count on. Great steaks, the finest fish, Columbo's family Italian specialties, jazz every night, and the world's greatest meatballs, and service that makes you feel at home. What's surprising is that Columbo's has been doing it right since 1954 and still going strong. And Valentine's Day is right around the corner. It's time to make your reservation. 323-254-9138. 323-254-9138. Columbo's. You know, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's. Manja.
We are the debt destroyer. Any debt you have, credit card, tax, student loan debt. Call now to get our free report that tells you how to destroy your debt. It's a great resource. Plus, when you make this free call right now, we'll have a debt destroyer expert ready to help you. They can show you how they can help you destroy your debt and get your life back on track. Debt problems don't have to be overwhelming. You can live stress-free and debt-free. Credit cards, medical bills, IRS tax problems, even student loan debt. Learn about free programs offered by the credit card companies, hospitals, and even the government that can help you slash your debt. Call right now for free information, including our Debt Destroyer Guide, a $300 value, yours free. Call right now.
800-515-6348. 800-515-6348. That's 800-515-6348.
Destination, South Point. 11 great restaurants, bingo, bowling, movies, race books, sports books, spa, live entertainment, oversized rooms, and the rates unbeatable. The South Point Las Vegas. Book now. Online at southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. At the South Point Las Vegas, you're always a winner.
This is the show Heaven on Earth, and I have my gorgeous co-host Kim Hix all the way from Hawaii. So we were talking about, Kim and I were talking about spiritual partnerships and the Shiva and the Shakti energy, and when the divine masculine stands up and holds a sacred space for the divine feminine, she starts to flourish. So I have an in-studio guest, my spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd. And as I was going through my own chrysalis butterfly experience and I was having my dark night of the soul, spiritual teacher, a master, they say when the student is ready, the master will appear, came into my reality and helped me go from living on food stamps and my EBT card as a single mother and a work trade into giving me some meditation techniques that helped me transform my life, get my own apartment, get back on my feet, and now I actually rent a beautiful home in Sherman Oaks, California, after studying with George, doing some of the very simple techniques to do inner transformation so that I could have an external transformation in my reality. So here's another example of a beautiful divine masculine energy helping the divine feminine, so that I was able to hold a space to then go to Kim and create this show with him. And then the next beautiful male came in and started helping me. So I want to go back to George A. Boyd. Let's talk about your history and how you became a spiritual teacher.
Well, I didn't grow up with any religion in my family, so I was seeking at an early age. And I grew up in a dysfunctional family. So 1967, went up to the Summer of Love and met a young lady, fell in love, went up to Portland, Oregon. And we joined a Christian group, a born-again Christian group. And I thought, okay, I found my place. I'm going to marry this lady. And all of a sudden, one night, in the middle of the night, about 3 a.m., I wake up from a sound sleep, and here's this flaming triangle in my consciousness, and it says, you are to go to Los Angeles right now. But I said, it's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You're to go to Los Angeles right now, but no buts. Pick up your things, go. Don't tell anybody, go. And
a flaming purple triangle in your third eye. Were you freaked out?
Well, I had spiritual experiences before, but there was great power that came from this.
And a voice like a...
I mean, this was power. This was, you know, as my first teacher used to say, he said it was the Father God.
All right.
And so I went back to Los Angeles, and I was thinking I would go and convert everybody to Christianity on the way.
I thought that before once.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
And so I wound up getting hooked up with the Self-Realization Fellowship. That was the best of both worlds. I could have my Hinduism, my yoga, and I could have the Christianity too. The marriage of both worlds.
Beautiful. Thank you, Paramahansa Yogananda.
Yes.
Yes,
and,
thank you, Yogananda. Oh, yes.
So I was studying different things, and I learned from a friend of mine about this teacher that painted these beautiful pictures of the great masters of love and wisdom. And so I remembered that, and then I went to a bookstore, and there was a picture that had his name on it. And I said, that's odd. You know, my friend was talking about that, and the voice of intuition came to me and says, go and ask the proprietor where this man lives. I said, what? Well, why would he know where this man lives? So no, just go. So I went there, and he says, oh, this man lives at 220 California Avenue, apartment 7. I said,
that's very detailed.
I was surprised, and then the voice of intuition says, please go there right now. But it's a mile and a half away. No, go there now. So I went there, and, you know, I'm thinking, well, okay, you know, I'm going to knock on this guy's door. He doesn't know who I am. He's going to have me arrested. You know, well, I got my mom's phone number. So I knock on the door, and I feel this energy reading me, like, you know, an angel or something is coming through the door. And it's like he's like looking at me at all levels. The door opens. It's hissing silent. And here's this man in a Nehru suit. Many of you who are old enough to remember the 70s, that were very popular.
What kind of suit?
They call him a Nehru suit.
Nehru suit.
Nehru suit, right? Okay. You know, with a no collar. And he looked at me, you know, not a hair out of place, just impeccable. And he says, oh, you come for the light, haven't you? Proceeds to hold his hands over my head. And I feel this like 30 pounds of light being dropped into me. I mean, I was just, no words. And I like to say, oh, what? And, you know, after this experience, he says, oh, by the way, we have classes on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Would you like to come? I'm going, you know, no words. Yeah, of course. And I studied with him, and then he disappeared. I don't know, he just out of the blue, you know, he wasn't at the place where he was before. And so then I went on to find my second teacher, who was a young boy, 13 years old, incredible teacher named Satguru Bal Yogeswar. Still is around, currently uses the name Prempal Singh Rawat. And I spent some time with him up in a small little house above the Hollywood Bowl on Alta Loma Terrace. And it's that place I received what's called knowledge. He initiated me. He didn't do it, but his student, his Mahatma, they called him, initiated me. And that was probably the most powerful experience I'd ever had. Like light was exploding inside of me, and sound and nectar and this primal vibration. And at one point during this 5 years that I studied with him, I was meditating between 8 and 12 hours a day. And this was not like, oh, I got to meditate now. It was like, you know, I was completely pulled into this inner vortex of just revelation pouring and pouring and pouring. And it went on for months and years, just this continual process of unfoldment. And then at the end of that period, it's like I realized this state of being like this great, endless ocean of light. And after that state, you know, there was this, I called the voice of satsang. It was like my inner guide, and he would come and teach me about things. And he showed me all things about the different levels of the universe, and you know, all the different worlds. And
so, was it an image of a person?
Guide? Yeah.
Describe what that looks like, an inner guide.
Yeah.
Well, it's imagine the most beautiful, radiant, loving being you could possibly imagine, glowing with light, with such purity and such holiness and such love that it melts your heart. It melts the heart for miles, and that's the energy you're dealing with.
Now, is it a person form, and do they talk with a voice, or is it telepathic? Is it just knowingness? How does the energy get transmitted?
Okay, it gets transmitted through, well, at the first stage you hear it telepathically, and at the second stage you'll actually see the form of their mouth, and their mouth will move.
And are you like getting downloads as he's transmitting?
It's a revelation. It's a revelation. So he's showing you, you know, he's showing you like the stages. You know, he's saying like, well, you know, we're studying this particular plane, and you know, this is this plane, and this is that plane, and he shows you everything in the content, and he shows you the masters who work at that level.
Is it like a Christmas Carol when that ghost takes the guy to the different realms?
Well,
you know how he took him to the different parts of his life, but except in the higher worlds? Like there's a guide and you're flying? Are you flying?
Yeah, you're flying in consciousness, not physically.
Okay.
Okay. So, and so after that, you know, I had like gotten myself to a state where I could no longer function. I was like in such bliss that I couldn't function anymore. And so this guide sent me back to personality to work on myself. As part of the process of my working on myself, I studied with my third teacher, and that was Sant Darshan Singh, a beautiful, beautiful holy man who taught what's called the Yoga of the Audible Life Stream. But the most important part of that, because the meditation part wasn't an issue for me. I mean, I could, you know, meditate and go to any level at will. But the most important part was that he taught this ethical system. You were talking earlier about yama and niyama.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he taught me about purifying the conscience, purifying your nature. You know, getting rid of all the lies you tell yourself and other people. Getting rid of the greed. You know,
getting rid of the greed.
Yeah, you know, and basically coming to the point where you are a pure instrument and pure vessel.
Kim, did you get that? I know you popped out for a second. That where the master.
I got a little distracted, but I'm fascinated with the nature of the greed and the nature of the inner guide.
Yeah.
Because I think we go in that realm a lot with having feelings that we have other aspects of our personality perhaps inside that can be guiding, blissful guiding entities and you know, guardians for our path. And I find this a fascinating thing. But, you know, from a psychological Western perspective alone, let alone from an Eastern perspective of who they actually represent in the pantheon. Love to have you dive in a little more to this stuff, and how this liberates us.
Well, basically, there are three parts of the work. Okay, the first part is you move in consciousness, so you're able to visualize what's on the inner planes, what's inside of you, what is yourself, what is your soul. You know, what is beyond your soul? What is liberation of the soul? And every dimension and world beyond. So there are many, many worlds. So the guide takes your attention. And then the second part of that is you transform yourself to move into those realms. And the third part is that then you capitalize on the abilities that come. You expand your love and your virtue. You expand your wisdom, your understanding. And you expand your potential abilities.
So is this the point at which you can take this out into the world again? I mean, because here we are on the journey of the inner world, and we've been guarded and guided and then supported, and we've come to achieve or discover a treasure, a sacred treasure of wisdom and self-growth. And then do we take this back out into the world? I mean, At what point does this manifest?
Okay, well, let me tell you about my own story about how it happened. Now, after I studied with my third teacher...
Wait a minute, you have to finish where he's taking you to the planes. Was that the end of that?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just talking about that's the way a master works with you.
Okay, so you were there, and he took you to these heavenly planes.
Yes.
And then we'll do the part where he shoves you down the door.
Okay, you transform. The light comes down, and you transform, and you move into those spaces that the master shows you. So it's not only you see it, but you become it.
So remember when you get to a certain level, then he throws the doors down?
Okay.
That's the part I want.
Okay, all right. You want the story?
Yeah, that little story,
Let's go there.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, when I was so imbalanced and so in a state of bliss that I couldn't function anymore, he made me go back to my personality. So he actually hurled me down out of the higher planes, and I heard the doors close behind me, and he says, you have to work on your personality now because you've neglected it. And you can't be an instrument for the soul if your personality is not functional.
Woo.
Okay? Heaven on earth. You have to take care of the earth part, which is your personality. You got to develop yourself so you can be an instrument.
So you were strung out in the heavenly light for how long before you got hurled back into the world?
I was probably out there for, well, I was pretty much out there for, I would say, probably like 5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years, you were meditating 8 to 9 hours a day in these heavenly worlds where you're sucked into these vortexes, showing all the inner landscape, which is how you wrote 19 books. And then you hear this voice, powering voice, and the doors slam, slam, slam with all the dimensions, and you get thrown back into your personality. And then what do? You're like, I can't function.
Okay. Well, you learn how to function. The way that I brought myself back was by dancing to get in touch with the physical body. Dancing. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. And then the other thing I did is...
Would you call that a Kundalini awakening? That bliss state?
No, well, that's Kundalini is only a tiny portion of that. Kundalini is the energy that awakens the awareness of your mind to different levels. But this is way...
Beyond that.
Way beyond Kundalini.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So dancing.
Yeah, so I did dancing, and the other thing I did that helped me come back was I did the EST training. Anybody remember the EST training?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah, I did the EST training, and that helped me get back in touch with my will because I had been in a state of complete passivity, kind of remaining in the present and, kind of going with the flow. And you need to be able to make things happen, masculine and feminine, passive and active, right? You have to be able to make things happen. Okay?
That is very pertinent. This is the key right here.
Yeah. So if you, for example, if Athena had simply said, well, I'm going to remain here in the state of bliss and joy, and I'm not going to make this radio show happen with Kim, there would be no radio show.
Correct.
Yeah. So then I went back to UCLA, finished my bachelor's degree in psychology, and tried to figure out what the heck had happened to me because I was in all these cult groups. And then I decided, well, I never got the Kriya Yoga from
Paramahansa
Yogananda. I never got it. I did all the other lessons. So I went and took the Kriya. And by the time I took the third Kriya, which is this, I had this vision. And all of a sudden this thing woke up inside of me and it said, what day and time is this? And I said, well, it's 1982. And I said, well, I have not done this technique since 1983. And it was revealed to me that I was actually a person who had studied with Lahiri Mahasaya.
You mean 1883?
Yeah. 1893.
1893. Wow. So you had been a person in the past that had studied already.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, this is so incredible. We need to actually have a 2-hour show on this. All right, we are going to go to commercial break, but when we get back, George is going to give us a personal transformational technique. And you can also go to mudrashram.com. He's got light sittings, he's got courses, he's got 19 books that he channeled from the inner planes, and we are excited to hear it. So this is Heaven on Earth for the 144,000 who gathered to create Heaven on Earth. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Hey, Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurants.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
This is Athena Starseed and my glorious co-host Kim Hix, all the way from Hawaii. Aloha, Kim. We're wrapping up the show here with my beautiful spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd, who was taken into the heavenly realms and channeled 19 books full of all kinds of technology on what happens in the inner consciousness from all these wonderful initiations from his 5 different masters. So you were kind of on, I don't know if you were on the 3rd master?
I was on the 4th master, and I had the experience with Yogananda.
Oh yes, Kriyas.
And then after that, I began having visions of these other teachers, and finally a teacher appeared to me who revealed his name was Swami Prem Dayal, and he says, I'm a teacher of the emerging Mudrashram lineage. And he proceeded to tell me that you have been chosen to be the lineage holder for a newly emerging lineage. And he empowered me, and he said, you will be the vessel of our light, of our power, and of our wisdom, and our grace. And so since 1983, I have been teaching meditation, and he gave me the download. He gave me the download of the courses that I would teach to humanity. And they contain not only the transformational mantra, which is absolutely priceless. I mean, that is the thing that takes you and evolves you through every world, every level, but a series of other techniques for each level of your mind so that you can work on your personality, you can work on your higher mind, connect with your higher mind, and also to unfold your spiritual potentials. Now, for those who are interested in learning more about that, you can go to my website. I believe it's posted, www.mudrashram.com, and I will be happy to assist those. You can ask me questions. There is a portal for you to contact me through there on the website. You can email me, and we also have a great deal of information in the form of our blog. We have many articles in the library, we have many webinars, and we have 3 entire teaching programs that are available online. So we invite you, if you're interested in this work, to learn more about it.
Sounds like a full Pantheon service.
It's really incredible, Kim, because what I started out with was a very simple soul reading. And he kind of reads your soul and scans your body like a dolphin and finds out where you're at on this continuum of consciousness. And then he gives you a personal mantra. And the mantra that you say is specifically for your soul, so that when you go in and you meditate, it does navigate you through these landscapes of these different planes. So I have myself used the mantra, gone up a couple planes, and I have opened up my psychic abilities to the point where I am professionally reading at one of the top places, which is the Mystic Journey on Abbot Kinney. And I read for people all over the world now. And it's been, thank you so much to my wonderful, beautiful spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd. So I want to thank you for being on the show. It's a pleasure and an honor to be one of your students. I love the training. Kim, I love you. And I think this is the solution, self-actualization to the humanitarian heaven on earth issue.
It certainly brings heaven on earth. Hallelujah. Right through the inner heart.
Right through the inner heart. So this is a show for transformation. This is a show for the 144,000, and we're reaching out and we're asking you guys, if you love the show, please subscribe, share it, pass it on. And we are going to be, in the next coming weeks, we're going to be having Women of Wonder on the show, which is Gina and our wonderful director, Stephen Lawrence Harvey, talking about how the Divine Feminine will usher in this consciousness via media. So we love you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to be here on Saturdays from 10 to 11, and then on Sunday from 1 to 2. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Blessings.